Hello, Maurieo Vlogs number 319 B-roll. Hello, welcome. Well, today I found myself out at the peat mines doing a bit of survey. I've been doing work out there for quite a few years now, maybe 6 or 7 years. I monitor the peat levels for them just to make sure that they don't go beyond their resource consent, and I monitor a few levels on a stop bank and things like that just to make sure that everything's fine and dandy and things aren't sinking away due to the mining process. So what I went out there today and spent a fair bit of time out there, collecting data and stuff like that. And while I was there, I took the opportunity just to take a few bits and pieces of video and that I'll sort of refer to in vlogs sometime next week or whatever. So for today, I just thought I'd put a bit of what the professionals call B-roll together, and I've just got that in the background. So this is the area in there that they're working on at the moment, big long areas, and they pick up the peat with the xylorators by the tractors. The peat, of course, is very wet. It holds a lot of moisture, so it's quite easy to disappear. I've got stuck one or two times there and had to be dragged out in the bighorn, but they have the big tractors with the big wheels, and this is the gear that they use to stir up the top layer of peat. It dries out in the weather, and then they drive along and maybe take a few centimeters and blow it into the back of these big trailers, and then they cart it down to this area where they store it, and in some cases screen it and take all of the sticks and stuff out of it. So it's while it seems quite a simple process, it's got quite a number of facets to it that are quite interesting. So this is their range of gear. They're not working today. It's a Sunday, and there's a few things to do, and it's possibly might not be dry enough, because usually they'll be out there trying to get the peat as much as they can. I'm told that this season has been very wet, so yeah, there's they've got to make the most of the last days of summer to try and get some good drying weather with the wind and the sun and what have you, to try and get that drying weather there so that they can gather some peat and stockpile it so that it can be trucked out during the winter. The peat itself is used mostly for potting mix and goes to a lot of the potting mix and horticultural companies. And then once they mine about a metre or to a metre and a half of the peat, and then rehabilitate the land back and return it to wetland. So this is back at the start here. That's a tractor they call the crocodile, because it can go just about anywhere in the mud flats and mud and wet areas and things like that. So it's apparently it looks like a crocodile when it's going. It's quite an interesting little machine. It's a lot of dust and a lot of wind and a lot of dust involved in the peat mining. So that's where I was today. I haven't had chance to scrub up actually, but you might see a slight black dusty tinge to my face. So that brings us to let's just see a bit of action going on here. This is the one of the big tractors coming through. Got a little sort of thing there. This is an old area here, and over to the left there, they're starting to crush down the vegetation and get it ready so they can harvest the peat. So here's today's background, and I want you to tell me which country this is most likely to be in. So this is some guys cutting peat and drying it out in the weather, and they use it for fuel. They burn it, and this is there's one country that's pretty much synonymous with this sort of thing, although I believe it goes on in quite a number of the other sort of countries are joining it. But there's one country that I sort of associate peat with anyway. So put your answer in the comments below and see if you agree with me. I don't imagine this one will last too long, so get in quick. Now, the Hall of Fame, yesterday we had this picture here, and this is Lucille Ball, a comedian. Had a program on TV back in the 50s and 60s called I Love Lucy, and Lucy used to get into all sorts of bother and trouble, and here she is on a production line, either trying to eat the products so that that they don't get overcrowded, or it's starting to overcrowd. But either way, it was a very slapstick comedy, and in the day it was the only one that was on. But yeah, so I Love Lucy, and Moz got in with that one. So let's just go back to today's background, and we just want the country that this is most likely to be in. So thanks to everyone for their liking and subscribing and commenting. I have still got to have a big surf and go around some channels and support and reciprocate, but I have every intention of doing that as soon as I get some free time. But that doesn't seem to be happening too much, but I'm getting round the odd one. So if you don't see me, it's not that I've abandoned you. I'm just stuck for time. I'll get there eventually and say hello and leave a comment and watch some of your videos. So, oops, I just moved myself out of the way. So I think we'll call it a day there, and thanks for your continued support. It sort of keeps me going and most appreciative, and look forward to a little more about peat mining. So I think we'll stop recording there. Cheers. See you.